What's up, everybody? Here live with Kathleen Celmins. Hey, Kathleen.
Hey.
Thanks for being here. Let me just tell you all the reason I've asked Kathleen to be on the show today. Super straightforward. We're all freaking ADHD entrepreneurs. Oh my gosh. Make it stop. Take your meds. Stop right now. Do what you got to do. Go for a walk. But ultimately, we all have that next big idea. In fact, I've got like 10 right now, right? You ready with that? So that's where we are. So Kathleen is here. She just wrote a book. It's out about brainstorming these ideas, how to figure out what's the right thing, what's the wrong thing to do, a 90-day plan around those ideas, like actually taking what's going on in that crazy brain we all have and putting it to work in a really highly profitable way. So this is before you launch a marketing plan, before you build a website, before you go out and create an e-course in your closet that no one will buy, like before you launch your next coaching program. This is where you start. This is the foundation. It's thinking. So, Kathleen, oh my gosh, welcome. So glad you're here.
Thank you.
Let's do this. So,
yeah,
just give us like jump right in. So we have a bazillion ideas. I mean, this is for real. Oh my gosh, you know us. You know how crazy we are. We have a billion ideas. Our staff, our team members are like sick and tired of us because we went to some freaking conference and now we got 10 more ideas. And we bought the stuff and it's going to last like 60 days and then we're going to give up. How do we, where do we start with getting our ideas sorted, maybe triaged, which ones are good and bad before we even start planning which ones we're going to execute? Like, where do we start?
Do you ever, that makes me think of that picture, you know, the guy who's like hunting for diamonds and he turns around like right before he gets the big one and then goes down a different one and gets a small one and thinks he's done great. Right. You know, it must be some old video game or something.
Yes.
That meme is what we do. And when you say like 60 days later, we peter off, the point for me is that, yeah, we didn't dig the last 10 feet of dirt to get to that big payoff. It's tough because the internet moves really fast. And we all know people who had a 6-figure launch in 3 days, going from zero to some, whatever.
Yeah.
All of the spicy stuff that we all go for. I'll click that 100 times out of 100, right?
I want to be a rock music star. So I watched Taylor Swift's new documentary and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Nashville. I got this. Come on.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And so what in the book I talk about, and it's actually like later in the book, but I talk about 90-day experiments because if we think of ourselves as business owners and scientists testing a hypothesis, maybe this idea that solves this specific problem for this type of person will be a good revenue source. Here's what I'm going to do to figure out whether that's true. And so you're sort of detaching yourself from the outcome. You're not a, steaming piece of garbage if it doesn't work out, right? But what you want to do is give it a good shot. So you can't just send one email and say, well, nobody wants to buy my course. I remember when I first started, I had just started on my own. I sold my shares from a previous company back to my business partners. And I had a hard time getting traction that first couple of months. I actually said to my husband, I just don't think people need digital marketing. He was like, that's obviously not true. So keep at it, So it's one of those, it's tough because you want to glom on to the next idea, especially if you read those articles about how somebody made 6 figures last weekend or whatever. But I'm telling you, like, giving it that extra month, deciding to do 4 experiments in 2022 instead of 10 is a really good place to start, because the more we can focus, the more we can get ahead, like get into it, the more we become known as the SEO person or the such and such person. Then we're building upon our ideas.
Yes. Like, oh my gosh, if you didn't just catch what she said right there, that is so So powerful. You said, like, what if we just did 4 experiments in 2022 instead of 10? By the way, if you're listening to this 5 years in the future, 2027, pick your year. Entrepreneurs haven't changed.
Irrelevant.
Yeah, we haven't changed as people in a long, long time. Entrepreneurs have always been this way. So, yeah, number one, like slimming down to a few ideas that are like, okay, I can actually execute and execute well versus being kind of half-ass on everything. And like that one last piece there, Kathleen, where you said, once you kind of start drilling down and keep doing the thing and keep doing the thing and keep becoming more known for what you do, then it gets easier. Like, oh my gosh, it gets easier. Folks, like, no BS here. When we started Group Coach Nation, before that was called Elite Agency, Inner Circle, I think, like getting known in this space is work. It takes a lot of interviews. It takes a lot of time. It takes community. But once you get it rolling, like it rolls itself. So, Kathleen, excellent advice. How do we pick which of the 10 we should focus on?
Okay, let's think about it like exercise.
Okay.
So you seem to be a relatively fit person.
I like exercising.
Let's say like you've got 10 ideas, right? There's CrossFit, there's yoga, there's swimming, there's boxing. I could come up with 10, but let's say you've got a list of those and you look at them and you say, okay, I could do all 10 of these once. How many could you do very consistently for the next 90 days? So for me, that completely eliminates boxing, and CrossFit, and like the more intense things. So if you can take the layer of consistency, like filter your top 10 ideas through the consistency, that what am I willing to do consistently, repeatedly, over and over and over again. So going back to the imaginary 6-figure thing, let's say it was like somebody made 6 figures last weekend launching a car detailing software. Okay, well, if you don't know anything about car detailing or software, it's sort of irrelevant. Like, don't get into that, right? But like letting yourself do that filter. And if you have a team, even a small team, what do you think they can do? What do you think won't stress out your team if you're adding things to it?
Oh my gosh. Like you're so freaking on point. People lean in and listen to Kathleen. Like, this is really, really good. My team and I plan to execute 3 things per quarter. All right. That's all we do every quarter. 3 things. One might be like updating a CRM or adding this new marketing channel, another like location, like adding Clubhouse or something to our workflow. Just that's 2. Third thing might be updating our client experience in our mastermind. That could be 3. Like, that'd be it. We don't do anything else. Obviously, we still have to do prospecting, and we still have to do selling, and we still have to do client management, all that stuff. That's daily work. But like narrowing it down to what you can actually accomplish. Like, you're back to your fitness example. I know that for me, like, I tried to do martial arts like 5 times now, different versions of martial arts. I go for a few months and I quit. But for me, I like to run. I like to run. So if I get in a fight, I should just run away instead of fight, right?
Yeah, it's fight or flight for me too.
Yeah. But for me, I can put on my shoes and I can walk out that door and I can accomplish the goal versus driving across town, waiting for the class to start, blah, 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 blah. What can you actually accomplish in the next 90 days? Pick 3 and start doing it. Execution is really it. That's where it's at, folks.
And I think it's easy to get lost, right? Because I read something from someone who had hired a marketing consultant, and they listed like a whole list of things that they didn't know what to focus on. Should I be on Clubhouse? Should I be focusing on this? Should I be focusing on that? When there's 50 different things to focus on.
Yeah.
You're right. If you focus on all 50 of them terribly, it's kind of like that another visual that I like is there's like a circle and a bunch of arrows, right? So let's say you've got 50 arrows. Well, they're all going to be this short. You have the one distance. But let's say you have one, that's going to be 50 times longer. You're going to get way farther with one, or to your point, 3, than you are going to be with 50.
Great point. Okay, and I'm going to just reset what you just said about social media places, like places to market. Yes. Folks, where are you happy at? Do you like Clubhouse? If you are happy there, market on Clubhouse. Do you like LinkedIn? Do you like Facebook? Do you like Instagram? TikTok? I don't care. I promise you, your market is on that platform. They're there.
Wherever you want to be consistently. I have clients that tell me, I feel like Facebook is a necessary evil. Or, I mean, not throwing shade on Facebook, whatever social media platform is a necessary evil. And I always say, if it's evil, it's not necessary. If you see something as evil, opt out of it. To your point, Chris, like, people are everywhere.
Pick the one you like. Somebody told me recently, like in the past 2 weeks, oh, I'm sick of Facebook, their leadership, their corporate structure, blah, blah, blah. By the way, we're streaming live on Facebook right now. So, hey, Facebook bots, we love you. Okay, Facebook. So I'm only going to be on Instagram. And I was like, it's the same thing. They're owned by the same. No, I was like, how did they not know that? How did they not know that? But for whatever reason, they felt happier, more comfortable, more authentic on Instagram. Awesome. Fine. Bottom line is execute well on Instagram. It doesn't matter the platform. The people are there. Pick one and own it.
And back to consistency. Whatever. Again, it's Chris's martial arts training, right? Like, don't do that on social media, because you're not gonna, don't go live on Clubhouse once and tell me that Clubhouse didn't work for you.
Yeah, you're gonna get beat up that way.
Clubhouse, take it off your phone. Fine,
Yeah, I know. I have the Clubhouse app on my phone because I keep intending to do it, but it hadn't made the priority list yet. Like, if y'all look me up on Clubhouse, I'm there, and I don't know what the stats are, but it doesn't say. I'm sure I don't have many followers. I haven't looked at it in 6 months.
It's tough for me because there's no repurposability on Clubhouse.
It's tough, right? It's hard to build a community there too. Like,
and I would just rather, if you're going to create content, create it on your website, create it on your email, and then just amplify it everywhere else. But Clubhouse for me is just like, I don't know. Let's go talk to my friends about marketing.
Yeah, I know. So, okay. So we narrow down, get rid of the 10 things, like, be smart. What do I love to do? Where do I love to do my work? There's always an audience out there. There really is. There's people who need your help. Narrow down a couple of things you're going to do. 1, 2, 3 things you're going to do. What are you going to really dive into in the next year? And then
the experiment, the question is, can you make it a 5-figure month out of it? Can you see the way? And you may not get there in 3 months, but the hypothesis, the question is, can I serve this particular person and solve this particular problem and scale that to $10,000 a month?
That's a good start.
And then you keep doing those, and you don't need that many to build a really robust business.
That's really true. So that means I have to be able to think it through. It doesn't take a week to think this through. You don't have to hire some amazing expert to think it through. Do I have enough time in my day to have a real life still, but serve enough clients at the price point I want to charge to get them the result they need? Or can I serve fewer clients and charge more? Should I slightly change my offering so I can charge more? It takes less time. It all comes down to how much can you charge and how much time does it take? So what do you have to do to make $10K a month as a starting place and prove the concept, right?
Right. And so if you're proving a concept, you can't do a $47 ebook, right? If you're proving a concept, you've got to do one-on-one coaching or group coaching. But if you're wondering if you can scale something up, it is far, far easier to scale a $5,000 thing to $10,000 a month than a $47 thing. Again, I'm no mathematician, but it's so much easier to prove that concept. And plus, coaching helps you build while you're delivering, which is, Chris, you mentioned, like, don't build a course in your closet that you don't know that people need. That helps you get paid to build that course.
Kathleen, you're so freaking good at this. Everybody listen to Kathleen. Oh my gosh. Like this is good stuff because it's true. It's hard to build a low ticket offer. Let's just be honest here. A low ticket, digital offer, book offer, whatever. You got to freaking scale like crazy to make that viable. If you already got a bunch of money and income coming in, and you're just trying to build an email list, have at it. But if you're like trying to build a business off of that low ticket offer and start stacking offers up, it's so much easier to start with a high ticket offer. Believe it or not, that is the premise, the underlying foundation of why Group Coach Nation exists. Because we found in our own practice, it's easier to sell a high ticket information offer, one-on-one or group coaching, than it is anything else. It's easier to sell it. It's easier to profit from it. The whole model works easier. It's the fastest way to cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, like Kathleen just said, then you can record your sessions, your group training sessions, even your one-on-one sessions. You can record all that stuff and turn it into an e-product that you're guaranteed will sell because you've already sold it. Now you can just use that recording as a downsell offer. Like, brilliant work. Love that, Kathleen.
Thanks. And so in the book, we go through an imaginary mindstorming weekend where we do these different filters, and none of them are what are you passionate about, because that doesn't matter. I'm passionate about yoga and will never make a single dollar off of it. So you can keep your passions. But it's like, what do people at work come to you for? So this is, again, like a lot of it's geared toward people who haven't really done much in the digital space themselves, but it talks somebody through like, okay, you're an expert in this. People have asked you for this. You do this for people for gifts. Okay, great. Here's a price point for one-on-one coaching. Hang your shingle out as a coach. Do 6 sessions for $5,000. Again, if this is in the future, then adjust for inflation. But then what you're doing then is you're proving to yourself that you know what you're doing, what you're talking about, because you already did that when you're brainstorming. What do people come to you for? What are you better at than other people? You don't have to be the best in the world. You just have to be better than somebody who has that problem that you can help them solve faster than they could on their own.
Yes. So true. So true. That's so true. Get over the imposter syndrome, folks. You know what you're talking about, and people need your help. That's all there is to it. That is the truth. I promise you, everybody who you think is quicker and faster and stronger than you out there, they're just better at marketing right now than you are. But I promise you, they feel the imposter syndrome too.
Yeah. It never goes away. You just have to learn to live with it.
Yeah, learn to live with it. Learn to get over it every day. That's the thing. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Kathleen, we narrow a few things down, and then like, how do we structurally? I know your book talks tons about this. How do we structurally like put together? What are we going to do about it now? I got this good idea. I think I see a path to get to 10K months rapidly, or 50K months, or 100K months, whatever your next goal is. What do I do? Like, I got to plan something out because I got to start doing something next week.
Yeah. So again, if we're focusing on revenue, and I know I'm a marketing consultant and a digital marketing person, so this is going to sound like I'm not following my own advice. But if your goal is revenue quickly, you've got to work on outreach. You have to send notes and there's ways to do it. I talk about in the book. Referrals are your best source. Don't offer to do anything for free. You already know you've got your expertise. So you don't need the free stuff for testimonials. Again, we only have 90 days. Let's get to it. You ask somebody if they know of anybody who has that problem that you've figured out how you can solve. You don't need to have a huge website. You don't need to have a Facebook page. You don't need to be on social media first. You need to have clients first, because if you don't have clients, you don't have a business.
So true. She's right. Like, why haven't we been talking, Kathleen, like every week? Why don't you on the show? It's great. It's just so simple. Like, the foundational truths that you're laying out are so simple.
They are, but they're not easy. That's the thing. It's like, it sounds really obvious when it's laid out this way, but when you sit down with a blank piece of paper and your pen and you try to do it for yourself, you think, well, I don't, I remember going through the Mindstorms is the name of the book, and there's 25 different exercises you go through, and one of them was so particularly painful for me that I had a whole page of I don't know anything. I don't know anything about anything. I'm surprised I was able to brush my teeth this morning. And like you go through it and you thank goodness you get through the other side. And I mean, we're in a safe space here, but I don't advertise that typically. But brainstorming is tough. It's really, really tough. I always need a snack afterwards.
It is tough. Yeah, it feels vulnerable. Because
it's extra work. Your brain is working way harder than it is like even when you're writing or doing something that you know how to do. But when you're thinking about like, okay, well, all of these ideas in here, they're kind of messed up, but how do I get them out? That's a rough process.
It really is. Yeah, no kidding, it is. Okay, Kathleen, if they want to engage with you more, and folks, there's no affiliate agreement here, nothing like that. Kathleen's somebody I know through one of our rock stars who's been in our mastermind groups in the past, Emma Bates. They're business partners.
Yes.
These are amazing humans.
Thank
you. Kathleen, I'm honored to have you on the show. Super thrilled about your book. Finally, like letting people learn how to do this brainstorming thing the right way and get action on paper. So this website right here, Amplified Now, that's their company name, amplifiednow.com. You can go to their website for fun, but /Mindstorm newsletter.
Yeah, and if you just go to Amplified Now, there's a link at the top. So the newsletter, and if you want to go to the book is mindstormsbook.com. And there's a link to Amazon because if you search for it in Amazon, you'll find a lot of Lego robot books ahead of mine.
That's awesome.
Which is fine. That's fine. There's other Mindstorm.
You have a Mindstorming book about, and you're like trending #1 in the toy category for books.
Yeah, like the programming robot thing. Yeah, whatever. But so if you go to mindstormsbook.com, you can get the workbook download there. But this newsletter is if you decide if you don't want to buy the book, that's totally fine. No one has to buy anything from us. But this is a free newsletter where we're going to be talking more in depth about what's working online, where we send out a newsletter every week. We're launching something in January where it's going to have a premium component where we were talking about this offline, Chris and I where the first month is about taking something that you already have that you're selling digitally, regardless of how it's selling, and figuring out how to 4 and 5 times the revenue you're getting from that. And it's where we'll have a step-by-step playbook because that's Emma's strength, is narrowing, like taking a big idea and chunking it down into steps. And then we'll have like the free component up every week. So again, not following my own advice, join my newsletter. I always say you gotta have something better than that, but
that's so fun. Well, yes. Oh, what's up, Gage? By the way, sorry, I'm not paying attention to comments today, guys. So sorry. And Angela, so great to see you. Sorry. Yes, there it is. Amplifiednow.com. Mindstorm newsletter, again, amplifiednow.com. There's a newsletter button at the top. Folks, not many people, think about this when you hear this, not many people pitch a newsletter as their call to action when they're on a show like this. I actually find this a little bit refreshing because newsletters can be boring, right? But when it's newsletters that are laid out actionably, like here's step 1, step 2, step 3, like we're taking you through a sequence of what to do. That's actually super helpful. It takes the information that's in the book and actually makes it practical for you to use coming up on a new year or a new season of life whenever you're catching this episode. Or you can go to the Mindstorm book, Mindstorms with an S, book.com if you want to just pick up the book and start reading. And like you guys are awesome. Thank you for hanging out. Oh, Kathleen, it's been great having you here. It really has. Like, thank you for what I'm thinking about this is thank you for getting us away from some of the nuts and bolts and give me 10 simple steps to follow. And how do I get the dopamine hit that makes me feel good when I start downloading this new piece of software and work, which is fun, but doesn't get you revenue. You're actually starting at the foundation, truly the harder part of the work, but the right part of the work that says, this is the right idea. Here's what to do next. I really appreciate the honesty with that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It's easy. It's really fun to buy new software, but I have so much software we don't use. Like, I'd rather just have that money.
We're all so guilty of like, oh, I was on AppSumo the other day and I got like three new things. I'm like, what are you going to do with what are you going to spend the 6 hours prospecting? Like,
exactly.
Go talk to people.
Get on the phone. Send those emails. Yeah, exactly.
AppSumo's making money, but you're not. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Kathleen.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you so much.
Yeah, keep crushing it. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.